There are 7 days in the week, and maybe someday isn't one of them. Don't let the haters, don't let the social media shit, don't even allow your own mind to trick you into quitting on everything you wanted. In this video, I'm gonna break down the dangers of quitting on your dreams. I'm also gonna dismantle the false narratives around goals and dreams that have been sold to us young adults. And then lastly, we'll go over the worst case scenario if your dreams don't work out. Have you guys ever met an old head who consistently is yapping about how he could have been the next Michael Jordan? He could have been this big old freaking Don Juan type dude. Like, you know, the LeVar Ball type of guys. You guys ever met someone like that? They're the perfect example about the dangers of quitting on a dream. When you quit on a dream, it sticks with you. It ultimately becomes part of your DNA. You live with that till the day you die. A lot of people are gonna go to the grave wondering, what if? What if I would've took the chance? What if I would've went harder? What if I would've took advantage of what I had in front of me? What if I took advantage of the time I had instead of fucking doing dumb shit and mooking around? I honestly believe in 50 years, when we're getting close to our deathbeds, there'll be horror stories that are being posted about people who just spent their whole life scrolling on their phone, just wishing they actually took action instead of just scrolling every day and just wasting time. If most of us are spending half our day on our phones and technology is becoming more and more relevant in our lives, almost to the point where we need to have our phone, what do you think that much phone usage does to the mind? Like, it can't be good. And I think a lot of people are gonna regret being on their phone so much. Like, even me, in the past 5 years, I spent so much unnecessary time scrolling, especially doing stupid shit when I was younger, like watching porn. That time spent doing that shit could have made me so much better. But another huge danger on quitting your dreams is that it affects your work performance. And it isn't an immediate thing, it happens over a long period of time. For example, if you work in sales, after so many years of working as a sales agent, you eventually start to burn out. You eventually start to come to the point in time where you're not as competitive as you once were because you've done it for so long. So as you continue to get older and older and older, your work performance goes down because you're not passionate in what you're doing. And then that's how people find themselves getting replaced by younger dudes at the job, because their lack of passion, their lack of inspiration is causing them to become a former shell of themselves performance-wise. And that's why you always need to be chasing your dreams, because when you start chasing your dreams, it's gonna give you that creativity that you're lacking. It's gonna give you the inspiration to keep working hard and go hard at work, so that way you can invest back into your dreams. And the biggest thing about having dreams and goals is that it gives you a sense of urgency. It gives you a sense of passion and purpose in life. You know, if you go to the same job every day, talk on the phone for 8 hours, go home and do the same thing over and over and over again, of course your life's gonna suck. You're living in a time loop. Your every day is pretty much the same. You don't have any progress. You may make a little bit of money, but at the same time, the more money you make, most of the time the company owns you. You have to realize that your dreams and goals are what's gonna keep your life fresh and interesting. Don't quit on your dreams, bro. Don't let these goofy ass dudes on this internet space trick you into quitting your dreams. They make it seem like just because it's hard to do, it's impossible. And then a lot of times people will make it seem like taking a risk and failing is like death. I think we as a society, especially with the fact that we can almost get anything instantly, whether it's dates, food, we become so obsessed with instant gratification that any little bit of risk or any little bit of delayed gratification is like a goddamn curse these days. Like, they literally make it seem like grinding without a reward is a scam. Like, you have to do everything fast, quick, and easy. Like, it just blows my mind to make that seem that way. And the most damaging thing about quitting on a dream is that not only did you waste your time investing into yourself, but you never see it through to the end. You never see what you could have been. You never see what you could have made of yourself and what you could have had and who you could have been with. All these different things that you deserved fade into dust for another man to take. And that's why I don't believe in quitting your dreams, man. Even if you have to, slow down on your progress, that's better than quitting, bro. Don't let the end of the staircase stop you from taking the next step. You have to keep moving forward, bro. That's the name of the game. Keep moving forward. No matter what happens, no matter what setbacks you have, if you can look at the next step and take another step, you can keep moving forward and eventually get to where you gotta be at. It's not gonna be overnight. Trust me, from someone who's been doing this shit for multiple years without much progress, especially when I see dudes who are not me doing crazy shit online. I trust the process. I know that at the end of the day, I got God on my side. I trust in my work. I trust in what I'm building here. And you have to realize that if you don't quit, you can't lose. If you don't quit, you're gonna have some level of success. Your success may not be $100 million in your bank, but success could be a couple $100,000 in your bank account. You got time on your side, and you're able to live your life doing what you want to do. That's a win-win for me. You don't have to be this billionaire player who fucks every girl. You don't have to be that. You just have to be the best version of yourself at the end of the day. You know in your heart where you can be at. You know what you should have. I think every man who's being honest with himself knows what he deserves. Like me, I'm probably not gonna be someone who has 10 million subscribers, diamond plaque. That's just not the kind of content I make. That's just not who I am as a person. That's just not where I wanna be at. For me, you give me 100K subscribers and you allow me to change their lives by showing them what I wish I would've learned, and I'll call it a day. That's where I wanna be at. I wanna be able to do what I wanna do while I'm here. I don't wanna have to hope and pray that by the time I turn 55, 60, I have a pension and the government's taking care of me because I didn't do what I had to do during the time that I had. And until you adopt the mentality of die trying doing this, you're not gonna be able to get to where you gotta be at because you don't have the level of intensity that's required to get to the next step. Like you have to be willing to die over this shit. Like this shit, it's 3 a.m. here in Houston, Texas, downtown. I should be sleeping right now. I have an appointment in the morning. Time is limited, bro. And the window of opportunity is always slipping, especially if you're getting older like me. I'm 25 years old. I'm about 2 years away from being unk. So it's like, I don't got time to be fucking around no more. It's kind of like now or never. Because if you think getting to your dreams is competitive now, give it 2 to 3 years. Especially with the way corporate America is, where the CEOs are getting more richer and the people at the bottom are getting less. People are trying to become influencers, streamers, athletes, goddamn porn stars, more than ever, just because working a 9 to 5 has become so much worse than what it was. Like in 2024, you can work 40 to 50 hours slaving at a job and still not be able to afford a house. Like, that's just crazy. So you gotta realize that, like, if you're not chasing after your dreams, you're gonna get beat at the end of the day. Quick question for you guys. Ironically, have you ever been scrolling on Instagram and see that one dude who works a 9 to 5 and makes content of it? Like he wakes up in the morning, he gets a coffee, he mopes into work, does like some typical Matrix shit, types on his computer and goes home. It's actually hilarious that he's making a shit ton of money by just actually selling you guys on the dream that 9 to 5s are nice. Like, let's get one thing straight. If you don't have a passion towards your 9 to 5, it's not gonna make you happy. And to be honest with you guys, the worst part about making a video like this is that in a comment somewhere, there'll be some goofy dudes talking about 9 to 5s aren't that bad. I'd much rather have a 9 to 5 than chase my dreams. I don't give a fuck what y'all wanna do. If you're happy doing what you wanna do, just leave me alone. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I think that anybody who hates their 9 to 5 shouldn't just settle for being in a 9 to 5 that they hate. If you hate your 9 to 5, go find a job that actually lines up with your passions, whether it requires for you to go to school, it requires for you to do some work on the side, like some YouTube shit. You have to figure out what makes you happy. You have to figure out what's gonna make you fulfilled in life. For some people, teaching is what makes them fulfilled. You have to recognize what those things are and go after them. Don't be the kind of person who says it's just mature to actually just have a job that you hate. That's just goofy to me. Don't allow these dudes to make it seem like having a 9 to 5 is a great thing and it's gonna make you happy, and you being yelled at by your boss for not bringing in a coffee is gonna make your life better. It's just craziness. So one of the biggest narratives about a 9 to 5 is like, what happens if it doesn't work? My biggest thing is like, if you put your all into something and you try your absolute best, and you bet everything on yourself and it doesn't work out, guess what? You can sleep at night knowing that you tried at least. You can sleep at night knowing that, hey, at least I put my best foot forward and I came up short. People who work a 9 to 5 who didn't try at all in their life, they have nothing to ever compare themselves to. They're never gonna say they took a risk. They're never gonna have that ability to really look at themselves in the mirror and say, I am who I say I am at the end of the day. Not everyone's gonna make it. And most of the time, it's not because they're just not meant to get it. It's just because they're not gonna put enough work in. Let's look at the worst case scenario. Let's say you're one of those people who did not put enough work in, did not properly adapt to situations, and didn't make the most of each scenario. What's more than likely gonna happen is if, let's say you put in 2, 3, 4, 5 years of grinding on something that you really wanted and you just don't pan out, so what? As long as you haven't neglected your health or your finances or even some of your relationships, you're fine. At the end of the day, those 3 years are gonna go by or not. You could have spent those 3 years partying, but you spent those years investing into who you are and ultimately learning more about yourself. If you failed on your dreams before, you should be able to look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I left everything on the table. But when I was in high school, I wanted to be a D1 full ride track athlete. I just never had the genetics to be able to do it. I ran the 800 meters and I probably could run maybe like a 2 flat at the best. But the people who were running that race were smoking me in high school. So it was always gonna be more of a pipe dream than anything. But every day I had the opportunity to run, I ran hard as fuck. I ran a lot of miles and I put everything towards it. I got no tears to shed. I made the most out of every situation possible. And thank you God for the opportunity. And when you put everything into something and you try, The worst possible scenario is that you'll have to just move forward, you know what I mean? And let's just talk about overall life. Let's say you want to be a sports analyst, right? And you spend 10 years plus chasing after this position of being like a Stephen A. Smith type of dude who's speaking on the TV shows, and it never ends up happening. What's the worst possible scenario for you? You have to work a 9 to 5? Most people are comfortable working 9 to 5s. So your worst scenario is everyone's normal scenario, and that should bring you great comfort. That tells you that you are able to stand out amongst the rest. If something happens to one dream, don't stop dreaming, man. Keep being a dreamer, keep moving forward, man. Keep having goals, keep being alive, bruh. Be aware of where you're at, and don't let anybody stop you from chasing your dreams. So my name is KJTheBlackAce. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm tired, but make sure you guys subscribe. I post self-improvement content. I'm one-on-one on here. Everything I post on this YouTube channel is shit I wish I knew when I was younger. I'm beginning to become an unk, so I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.